We're starting outside today because we're talking about tolling. Yes, tolling on Interstate 5 and 205. What's that you say? You didn't know tolling was coming to Oregon? Oh, my friend, it is definitely coming. It'll be here by late 2025, so about 3 years from now. The idea is to get more cars and trucks off the freeways during the busiest times of the day. But what if you still have to travel during those times, say during the rush hour? Well, in theory, you could take the bus. But will there be enough buses, and will they run on time? That's an excellent question that regional politicians and planners are just starting to wrestle with. Already, some are worried. When tolling takes over on I-5 and 205, many drivers are expected to bail off the freeway to get around paying the fee. That will push them onto side roads and neighborhood streets. The Oregon Department of Transportation is trying to figure out where that will happen and how bad it will be, and what can be done to make it better, or in their language, to mitigate the impact. One solution already being pushed is public transportation, especially buses, but it may not be as simple as it sounds. Listen to TriMet's lobbyist, Tom Margraf, speaking at a regional toll advisory committee meeting.
We have never done this before. This stuff makes me nervous as a cat. It is difficult. It's never happened here. It's something we need to figure out. I think we've got great partners. I think the partnerships that we have with these folks are going to make it so we can figure this out. But like you said, we haven't done the modeling. We have got those terrible constitutional restrictions on us that other states don't have. That's not going to go away. But one thing I do want to put out on the table is TriMet doesn't own roads. We don't own roads, right? We run our buses on roads. But we need to work with all the local jurisdictions so that we can move buses faster on those roads. And that means working with partners willing to make it so we can move buses faster on roads. We do have a serious issue in this world. The planet really is dying. And getting people, including the local jurisdictions, to recognize that if we're really going to make a difference on this, if mitigation is going to work, we have to get our buses moving faster. And that means big partnerships with lots of jurisdictional friends. It's not easy. It's going to be really tough.
So there's that. The constitutional issue he mentioned, by the way, is this. Money made from the use or operation of motor vehicles must be spent on roadway projects in Oregon. Now, I wanted to ask the TriMet lobbyist there for more details on the buses. What exactly is he talking about to speed the buses up? Are we talking about dedicated bus lanes on the freeways and side streets or something else? TriMet, though, said he was not available today. The president of the regional government Metro is Lynn Peterson. She's part of that same committee you just saw. She's also worried about the overload of the bus system.
If we're diverting and we have more delay on local streets, the impact to the transit system during a peak period, especially just to keep the existing schedule as delay increases, means putting more buses and more operators out just to keep the existing schedule. That can go up into the millions of dollars for one route. So that's the import. So that's the finer point I just wanted to put on this, is that's the impact that we can barely, as we look forward, we can barely see keeping an existing schedule, let alone probably not being able to keep an existing schedule because there isn't the money.
Now, I have to say, I don't know if those are genuine concerns or maybe posturing by politicians hoping to get more money from the federal government to fix a problem that does not yet exist, but one that they legitimately do see coming. Remember, the hope is that people not wanting to pay the tolls will switch to public transportation. And we've heard from many of you that you simply cannot get to where you need to go by bus or MAX. And even where there is enough infrastructure, there's a real concern about all those people who do make the switch, that they're going to swamp the bus system. Another committee member, Clackamas County Commissioner Paul Savas, added to the voices of concern at that tolling meeting.
But it's really the system. It's the box that we're in, and that there's not enough money. And you touched on it, Karen. There's not enough money to do what we need. There hasn't been any significant improvements in my part of the region when it comes to transit. And I understand the practical realities of, number one, the capital investment needed, the O&M to operate whatever it is we put in place. But we keep on going back to transit, and I understand the paradigm that we've been in, listening to Metro for all these years, JPAC and others. land use, transportation-oriented development, a big emphasis on transit-oriented everything when we can't grow the system to meet the needs. So there has to be something significant, or else we should bail. One of the two, how we are going to address how we expand it or not, because I don't see the means. I have been asking for this for a long time. Members of the TriMet board, TriMet staff people, everyone, what can we do? Where's the money? How can it happen? And the answer is we can't get there from here. And I think the public needs to know either we can't get there from here or there is a way or a path. But right now, under the current paradigm, it's not working. We can't grow it to meet the need.
Which made others wonder if he was right. Washington County Commissioner Nafisa Fai asked ODOT's head of public transportation the question that many were likely thinking. How are we going to pay for this? Will tolls pay for more buses?
So how does all that tie in? Are we going to invest some of those revenues that we collect into public transportation, more specifically transit? So I'm just wondering the revenue piece of and the idea of who's paying for all this.
That is a fantastic question. So we don't exactly know who's going to pay for what yet. So we know that if the transit is a mitigation, that we will have to come up with the funding to pay for that mitigation. We know toll revenues could potentially pay for some elements of projects that might be on this list. But beyond that, that's part of why we need to look at the full range of funding options and frankly, even considering new funding options.
Now, I don't know about you, but when I hear the term full range of funding options, it means just one thing: new taxes. We'll keep an eye out for those for you.